loves, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time clicking on this video, my name is Mufaro and we are the Monday Makers. We are a family of movers and shakers. We are goal setters, we are goal crushers. We believe in making our Mondays, because Mondays set the tone for the week and the weeks become months and the months ultimately make up the years. So we do so by having one open, transparent but constructive conversation on a Monday. So if that is the family that you want to be a part of, then hit that subscribe button. So over here we talk about business, we talk about faith, we talk about life and everything that is in between, right? So to my Monday makers, my movers, my shakers, my goal setters, my goal crushers, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. Thank you so much for the love, the like, the support. Please do not forget to leave a comment and do not forget to like, as it pushes the video, right? So, in today we are going to be talking about shortcuts. I know many of us love to take shortcuts. I mean, who wants to be in a long line? Who would want to take the longer route when you have to do anything? Why should you take the longer route when there's always a shorter route to do something, right? And so, as you know, on this channel we speak a lot about God. A lot of our principles are extracted from the Bible. So our story is our anchoring verse for today comes from the book of 1 Samuel chapter 24 verses 1 to 11. Now it's quite a long story, and I'm going to just give a brief background and then we'll go on the main verse that we want to focus on. Saul hears that David is hiding in a cave, and he gets 3,000 of his men and they go out to look for David. And then Saul goes into one of the caves to relieve himself. And this is the cave that David and his men so happened to be in, but they were in the innermost part of the cave. And so the men that he's with then say to him, "Look, God has given Saul into your hands." And so David goes and cuts a piece of Saul's garment, right? He cuts a corner from his garment. And afterwards, David feels guilty, right? It's a shortcut, right? So most of the times, a shortcut is just a shorter route to get you to an intended destination or place. However, it doesn't come cost-free. Usually, a shortcut is marked by high risk, be it high risk of getting caught, high risk of injury. It is just marked by high risk, right? So why take shortcuts? Why do people take shortcuts? And what is the problem with taking a shortcut? Now, I'm not against shortcuts. Please don't get me wrong, and then you come after me in the comment section. But I just want you to stop and think about this. When you think about the longer route, why do people avoid the longer route? The longer route is often marked by process, right? It's a process to get there. It takes time to get there. It takes time to do the thing, right? And so I want you to know that whenever you take a shortcut, you are robbing yourself. You are not cheating anyone else. You're not cheating your teacher. Just like, if you take a shortcut in school, like we would take shortcuts, like just a shortcut to learn something. If you crammed the formula rather than understanding the principles, yes, you would get the answer right, but you didn't understand the process. You didn't go through the process. Now, I'm in manufacturing, and one thing I've realized is no matter where you take a shortcut in the production process, it will always show up in the product. No matter what you do, it is only a matter of time before the cracks start to show that, there's something that you skipped. There's an area that you ran through. There's something that you kind of took a shortcut around, and the thing is that it will always show. So as much as we think that we can take a shortcut, be it that you've taken a shortcut to wealth, you've taken a shortcut to fame, you've taken a shortcut to getting to the top, right? What you don't realize is when you don't do the long route, when you don't take the prescribed route, which is marked by process, there are things that you miss out on. You miss out on the development of your character. You miss out on key lessons that you're supposed to learn. Like I was saying, I'll give you an example. I remember I struggled with long division. I know, I really struggled with long division. And then a friend of mine taught me a shortcut, right? Now the problem with taking a shortcut is that a shortcut is not a principle. Shortcuts don't have principles. The prescribed process has a principle. So the thing is, had I learned the actual principles of long division. It means that no matter what the question looks like, I have the principles that I can apply and I can solve it. But the problem with taking a shortcut, it means I just cram the formula. Cramming it means I don't get it. It means that for that particular question, I can understand, but if the question comes disguised differently, if it comes looking different, I am going to have a difficult time. And so that's the thing with most of us, is that we think that a shortcut is saving us. A shortcut is saving us of time, it's saving us the cost, it's saving us the experience, it's saving us of tears, and yet we don't realize that a shortcut actually robs us. The other day I wanted to do a workout, and so I had done a really difficult set, and so the set that follows, like, I really don't like it. I really don't like it. It's so challenging. And so I opted for the lighter version of it. And the honest truth is, I didn't feel as fulfilled as I would usually be. Why? Because I robbed myself of fulfillment. I knew that I was able to do it. I knew that I was able to put in the work, but I just didn't want to. I honestly didn't want to. I didn't feel like it. Yes, I did it, but I probably would not get the same results that I would have gotten had I done it the proper way. So we find David feeling guilty. And I wondered, and I said, why would he feel guilty? And you read afterwards, and he says, when he's speaking to the men, that what I did is wrong, but I stretched out my hand to touch the anointed of God. So, quick recap. David has been anointed to be king, but he has not yet been appointed, right? And so with many of us, maybe you have been anointed. You've been chosen out. God has spoken to you. He's told you, listen, you're going to be a millionaire. Listen, you're going to be, an influential person. And then an opportunity comes. It seems like an opportunity. There's one thing that my mentor taught me, and he said, the devil will always do one of two things. When God makes you a promise, he will, one, either bring it prematurely. So when something is brought to you prematurely, it means you are not yet prepared. You are not yet ready to handle that thing. Or the second thing is that he will delay it. Now, for most of us, we may find ourselves on either end, where you've experienced either it has come prematurely or it becomes delayed. So David has an opportunity, a premature opportunity to become king. He can take a shortcut. He can kill Saul in the cave. They throw his body, and David has a chance to ascend and to become king. But had David done that, David would have robbed himself of the opportunity and the process of learning the things that God wanted him to learn. God wanted him to learn integrity. If you read in Psalm, it speaks about how David was a king who led the flock with integrity and skill. Where was he going to learn this integrity if he had decided to kill Saul? It means he was never going to be able to lead with integrity. He wouldn't know what it means to earn his throne. He wouldn't know what it means to be a king who can lead with integrity and with skill. You don't wake up just being a king. There were lessons that he had to learn, and all those lessons are disguised in process. Like I said, God may have told you he wants you to be a millionaire. And you come across this deal that says, look, it will give you money quick. But the problem is, you can get it, but you will skip the lessons of maintaining it. Unless you go through the process of learning that, oh, I need to save, I need to manage well, I need to nip expenses in the bud. You don't get to learn those things because you skip process. The same thing if God wants you to be a person of influence. Pride always comes before the fall. The higher you go, the harder the fall is. But the thing is that God will want to take you through a process to make sure that you learn all the lessons and the principles, and you have the character that keeps you grounded, so that when you are at the top, you stay at the top. God is not just interested in getting you there, because he wants you to also stay there. But if you're going to stay there, there are principles and lessons we need to learn. You don't just end up in Canaan. You have to go through the wilderness. The wilderness is so that we get pruned. The wilderness is so that God removes anything that can hinder us from just arriving to the land and not being able to stay in the land. It's so that we learn things that will help us to make sure that when you get to the land, stay there. When you become king, stay there. So that's the thing with taking a shortcut. A shortcut will always rob you. You are always the victim. You are always the one who's at a loss. You are always the one who will lose. So as you're thinking of 2023, I just want you to take a moment to reflect. And even as you gear towards 2024, to say, just think about all the times when you skipped process. When you skipped the process, what happened? And make sure that in 2024, if there's process, gear yourself up. Get ready and say, God, I'm fully going to plunge into this. No shortcuts. No more shortcuts. So I hope you've taken a thing or two from this. And leave a comment below. Leave an experience or a time where you decided to take a shortcut and it turned sour. And you learned the importance of trusting the process. Trust God. Be willing to go through the process. Yes, I know it can take longer. I know it might look like it's more painful, and those who are taking the shortcut, they're getting there faster. But one thing that is guaranteed of taking the prescribed route, of going through the actual process, is that when your product is on the shelf, it's undeniable. It will outshine. It won't have cracks. It will outlive. It will outlast, and it will outperform. So I hope this was helpful to you. Otherwise, from me to you, see you in our next video.